Welcome to Nurses Uncorked, where I pour out the unfiltered truth about healthcare life. I'm your host, Nurse Erica, serving up real talk straight from the front lines to your ears. Each episode, I'm uncorking conversations that matter to nurses everywhere, from the hilarious to the heartbreaking, the inspiring to the infuriating. No filters, just authentic nursing experience shared with a splash of humor and a dose of honesty. So grab your favorite beverage, put your feet up, I know they're tired, and join me as we uncork another episode of Healthcare Reality. Now let's get this shift started. Welcome to Nurses Uncorked, a space for truth, connection, and courage to challenge the status quo. I'm Nurse Erica, here to inform, empower, and advocate for every healthcare professional out there. Are you ready to disrupt the system again? My guest today is my good friend, Matthew at the Masshole Maguido on social media. Hi.
Hello, friend.
It's
How
been
are
too
you?
long.
It has been too long. I feel comfortable being back in this seat.
Yeah, I know you were a regular and then you haven't been on in quite a while.
No, I mean, it's been months, more than months. It's been quite some time. But
things have changed since the last time you were here.
There's been some changes, but I see you're doing well. You're plugging away. The format, I'm used to, there being a little bit.
Well, and you had a front row seat for all of the behind the scenes.
I did.
Trauma.
The
last few months.
There's been some changes, but I see that you kept pushing on and doing well. I like what I've seen. It looks great.
Well, you gave me a lot of feedback early on. You're like, get this light behind you, do this, do that.
Yeah, let's just
get the cord out of the way, which the cord is still in the way.
No, but I think it looks great. I love the background. I think it all looks great. And everything you've been churning out has been great. It's been intriguing and interesting, and I'm still a listener. So now I'm a listener and I'm back on.
Well, I assigned the cocktail of the week to you this week, and it might be a giveaway as to what the topic is about this week.
So,
you want to tell us?
It may not look beautiful. So this is what we have here. We have 3 ounces of grape vodka. We have a splash of triple sec and a splash of club soda. And we have titled this particular beverage. See how it's not very intimidating and it's not very scary and it just looks like it belongs. This is actually called License on the Rocks.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers to you, dear. Sorry. This is License on the Rocks, and I think it's appropriate to today's program.
I think so, too, because we're going to be covering 3 cases today, one of which is really current in the news, the Bardisa case. So basically, after Operation Nightingale a couple years ago exposed thousands of fraudulent nursing diplomas nationwide, every employer should have tightened their credentialing, but clearly many did not. This is absolutely a systemic failure, but real nurses like us are done. We're done being the cleanup crew for these criminals in scrubs. They're not just forging paperwork, they're forging trust, and real nurses are paying the price, and the employers are allowing it. So today we're going to talk about all of that.
I have to tell you, this particular story is they're all mind-blowing to me, but I don't understand how this happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you're a Florida nurse, so we need you to,
listen. I don't claim these people. It's unfortunate because in the comments, when I post my content, people will reference that all the time, and I feel like somewhat responsible for what goes on here. And I'm like, listen, it's not it's not me.
All of us. It's the
I
minority.
Don't make the rule. Well, I mean, but the minority is starting to look like the majority at this point. It's getting concerning.
Happening.
It does.
People get so mad at me when I say it's always Florida, but I mean, it's always Florida. Like you can't change that. And it was the epicenter of Operation Nightingale, whether you like it or not. It's the
truth. It absolutely is the truth. But so many of us who work here, so many of the clinicians that actually do work in Florida, really feel some type of way because the whole country looks at us like, I can't disagree with it. This is some crazy shit. Like it's especially this most recent story is just I can't even believe. So we have everyone's heard, we've all talked about Auth Bardisa. I've titled her Auth Bardisa, the nurse who wasn't. Although, if you go on social media and you listen to her cousin is swearing that she was, but we all know that wasn't true.
The thirsty cousin with the red lipstick.
I mean, Basically, we have, just to sum up, we have over 4,000 patients, injections, medications, wound care, and all of it performed by someone who was never even a nurse. So this is the story of Autumn Bardisa. So what my timeline I've put together is, in July 23, she was hired as an advanced nurse technician at Advent Health. So on paper, she looked qualified. So she was someone that was working under a registered nurse. Authorities say that she had used another nurse's license number, and at the time, she had told the hospital that she had recently been married. Now, depending on who you speak to or what you read, some people say she went to school with the girl whose license that she stole.
Yeah.
Some people say allegedly she may have known the girl whose license she. There's conflicting stories, but I mean, and especially the name Autumn is such a rare name.
It's not common.
Not a
Yeah.
common name at all. So apparently she says she got married and used this, and they were like, oh, get it to us, fine, whatever. This is where I take issue. This is problem one for me, because I know you've been through this and I've been through this. When your BLS is about to lapse,
Right.
you're getting notified. When
Yep. Taken off the floor.
your CEUs on in, your annual training, your fit test is about to expire.
Your TB test is expired.
Right.
You didn't get the flu shot, whatever it is. We're pulling you off the unit. You
100%.
have 24 hours to rectify this, and you're not getting paid.
100%. So my first question that I want to discuss: how did this even happen?
Yeah, exactly. How?
I can't even picture. She's in the thing. She's filling out the paperwork. Oh, I just got married. Oh, that's fine. Just update us with the paper. I don't know any job I've ever been to where that would have been. And I'm in Florida. So I don't want people thinking that's the standard, because I've never seen a situation where that's happened.
Yeah, I don't get it. It feels like I have to get re-fingerprinted every time I renew my license now. And it's probably not every 2 years, but it's so often that it feels like it's overkill. So I don't know how these people are finding the employers that aren't going to check anything, how they're getting around this. But at the end, I want to talk about things that should be done to prevent this happening.
It never should happen. In some settings, and we'll get to it, I can see how balls may have been dropped in certain settings that we'll discuss later. But in a hospital, I don't understand how this is missed by HR. And hospital, HR is probably the worst. So I don't understand how this even occurred. But apparently then in January of 25, she's terminated. And it wasn't because the hospital caught her. It was because the coworker got suspicious, ran the background check, and blew the whistle, allegedly. So 7 months later, on August 5th, she's arrested. She's now facing 7 counts of practicing a healthcare profession without a license and 7 counts of fraudulent use of personal identification. And her bond is $70,000.
She's out on bond already.
She is out on bond already.
She is, yeah.
And the really interesting part is, this happens in January. She's officially licensed in February.
Yep, because the Board of Nursing, who was informed in January that she was practicing without a license, let her take now, okay, let's play devil's advocate. I understand that in a lot of cases, they're probably going to be advised by their legal counsel, the board that is, that while an investigation is pending, they cannot impede someone from moving forward. So at that point, there had been no formal findings. So they probably allowed her to sit for it. But what they should have done is held it and said, okay, you passed, but we are withholding your licensure
until this is agreed.
This investigation
100%. And it gets even more concerning because there's other reports, and I have to say allegations because for protection reasons. But people are saying that she sold semaglutide, better known as Ozempic, to a coworker and may have even injected it. She allegedly admitted it.
That's in her. Sorry to cut you off. That's actually in the police report that she injected a coworker. But here's what I haven't said. Allegedly. A lot of this. Okay, we have both been contacted by a lot of people behind the scenes, so a lot of this is alleged. But
I need to sip.
So the coworker, I want to say, was the CNA, and in exchange for the coworker babysitting for Autumn, who by the way had just gotten custody back of her daughter last year, in exchange she was giving her semaglutide, or selling it to her, and giving her weekly injections. Now I'm told that coworker, not only did she never lose weight, she got very sick, went from basically healthy other than overweight to suddenly having POTS and like 3 other conditions while getting these fake semaglutide
what was she even
injections.
getting? We don't even know what was
Right.
allegedly even being injected. We don't know.
Exactly. And then after the fact, when she finally started getting it from a reputable source, she immediately lost weight. So it wasn't her. It
Right.
was whatever was being injected.
And you heard also that there was allegations that she was given birth control injections to another
Yeah,
coworker.
like Depo or whatever. Yeah.
What was going on here? Like, what was going on? It's
Yeah.
crazy to me. I mean, they're not small, harmless actions. So, in the
Yeah.
days after the story broke, I had posted some content, you had posted some content, and I had started hearing from patients. And these were people who allegedly had been treated by Bardisa. And most of them remembered her face, they remembered her voice, and that's what flagged them.
Mhm.
Every single one of them that reached out to me told me the same thing. No one from the hospital or law enforcement had contacted them. No phone
Yep.
call, no letters, no
Yep.
follow-up, nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. So imagine reading a headline like this and realizing you're one of the patients and you're like,
Mhm.
oh shit, I remember her. And no one has called. But I found it interesting because during the police briefing, and they said it was a 7-month investigation. And I said in my first video they posted, actually made sense. They said that in cases like this, they have to navigate a lot of red tape due to HIPAA. Well, they said that they were actively reaching out to people. So, okay, well, maybe that's why. I haven't found one person who said, I don't know if you have, not one person has said to me that they've been contacted by either the hospital and or law enforcement regarding this case.
No, and I've heard from coworkers also who are concerned because they recognized her when the story broke. And, I worked with her. She absolutely would cover my patients occasionally if I went to lunch or had to leave the unit for anything. So now, am I potentially in a position of vicarious liability because she maybe didn't medicate my patients?
Well, that,
but documenting that she did, because that's a big part of this. Is there's a lot of stories of her allegedly
oh,
um
yes. Go ahead.
coming
Go.
in a room with just a syringe, no vial, nothing labeled, and patients saying, I don't feel anything, I had this yesterday, it felt entirely different, missing morphine, missing Benadryl for some reason, all manner of
Scanning in the hallway.
suspicious. Yeah, using the little rover thing where you
Yep.
can pull up the
Mm-hmm.
wristband. It's a
Yep.
workaround that should not exist, but it is. We've all seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get around these things.
It's terrifying to me that it
It
even
is.
occurred, and it's but the only thing I saw a comment in the news story, I believe it was CBS, don't quote me, was Advent Health said that they couldn't comment on it because the investigation was active. Like I
They
see,
always say
but
that.
it blows my mind. This has become, I mean, this has gone viral. This particular
Yeah.
story has become so public, and it's just no one is saying anything. And so there was the fake nurse case at flagasheriff.com, I believe, was
Yeah.
the where they could reach out. And I urge anyone to reach out.
I'll
Reach
link
out.
it in the description. Yeah, if you think that you
Absolutely.
may have been affected, that's the email address to reach out to for
Hmm.
the sheriff's department. Yeah.
I just can't even imagine how it went on this. I mean, I can imagine, actually. I can imagine, but it's just still mind blowing to me, that this happens. For John and the J&Q public, I'd be very concerned receiving medical treatment with everything that's going on.
Yeah. Now, what about the people that claim, oh, she went on to become a nurse? She did go to nursing
Erica,
school. I know,
Erica.
but let's play devil's advocate, because there are those people out there that
So
are saying, look, she's better than the Operation Nightingale one. She actually went to nursing school and she eventually passed
oh,
the
I can do.
NCLEX. And she's a single mom. She did it because she wanted to. I'm getting a lot of that. She was trying to take care of her kid. And yeah, that's what they're saying. Have a drink. Yep, on that. Take a sip.
I'm getting myself ready. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Because
So
that one pisses me off.
I've referenced her many times. I'm not going to say her name, but in a lot of my content, one of my former DONs years ago just had this conversation concerning this. We were discussing this, saying that how offended she was by a real nurse saying, no,
Yeah.
absolutely not. And here's my point. From a certain place, I can understand if she passed the NCLEX, she must have the education. Fine. She has no clinical experience. Even if she was, but I don't know. It's so tough, Erica. If you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a clinician, you're going to be a healthcare professional. If she's going to lie about that, what won't she do?
Yeah,
What won't
exactly.
she do?
Well, and it's a violation of several of the
Absolutely.
code of ethics through the
Absolutely.
ANA.
There are no ethics. There are no ethics.
You are held to a professional level of ethical accountability, right? And so if you're lying, if you're misrepresenting yourself as a medical professional, which is actually a criminal offense, then you're violating all manner of different codes.
But if she's lying about this, how could she ever be trusted to wear scrubs? I would never trust her with anything. Ever.
Well, hopefully she won't. Again.
And
hopefully.
what was the motivation for this? I mean, she
think
clearly
she's a con artist. I mean, she has so many other skeletons in her closet, it would appear, allegedly. And I will tell you guys that Matthew warned me not to talk about this. He's like, you can't bring that up because sex work is real work.
She's gonna do it.
But I'm gonna do it anyway.
She's gonna do it anyway. Listen, this glass only holds so much. There's only so much liquid.
I know, but allegedly, I heard numerous stories that just speak to your character or lack thereof. Okay. That she has an OnlyFans. Okay, that's a legitimate way to make money. Okay, fine. But she is selling like titty pics of herself to doctors, to different coworkers, so many accounts of her cheating, having affairs in every relationship she's ever had with different coworkers, lots of drama.
I was just going to say, I mean, the rumor and innuendo surrounding this particular person is crazy. I mean, it's giving General Hospital real life. Who was sleeping with who allegedly, who was dating who allegedly, who may have known what allegedly. It's just,
yeah,
obviously the focus is on Autumn. But for me, Advent Health needs to be brought to the table. We need to bring them to the table. They need to be brought to the table here and be like, what actually happened here? What?
Yeah.
And then it would call into question for me too. And I really haven't heard anyone talk about this, but I'm going to bring it up now. If she got away with it, I need all the staff vetted. I need every employee vetted. I need verifications. I need you to sign up on Nursey. I would not be going to said location, period. 2 years she got away with this. I want to know I want to know what's going on with the coworkers. I want to know what's going on with everybody there.
Thought it was a joke. I mean, let's go through some of the excuses that she used as to why supposedly the Board of Nursing didn't have her license listed. She would say that she took the NCLEX on a military base because apparently her ex-husband was military. And so that somehow translates into it not being, which is absolutely stupid, but that was one that she made up. She would say that it wasn't listed because she had an open domestic violence charge against her ex-husband, although I have been told that allegedly it was the other way around. He had one against her.
Well,
but again,
those court documents are public. They can go.
Yeah,
you can go search those documents. They're there.
Yeah, and that wouldn't matter. Your license would still be listed, whatever status it was. And then she would say, "Oh, the boards of nursing messed up.
They messed up. That's the one I knew of.
Florida and Georgia, they just screwed up. And when they realized they screwed up, they fixed it and listed it right away when she finally took the NCLEX." Yeah, I mean,
but I just don't, Erica, I'm telling you, like, it happened, but she obviously had the capacity to pass the NCLEX and did. There are
like
people
2 years after she graduated, supposedly, right?
Well,
yeah, but
I mean, again, here we go, allegations. Y'all know me. I'm Nancy Drew.
And
I got the time.
Did Nancy Drew this.
I got the time.
Tell them.
I thought I'm gonna get there. I thought to myself, since I am in the state, I says I'm very familiar with Rasmussen as a campus.
That's the school that she supposedly went to.
Not 20 minutes from me, one of their campuses. And to my recollection, it's not a cheap nursing program. It's an esteemed program. I mean, I know girls that have gone there, and there's usually a waiting list. And I mean, and people who graduate from there are respected. So it was a legit nursing school. What I find interesting is this, and this is where Nancy Drew in the case of the missing candlestick goes in. I loved those books. I'm telling you that, not just side.
I have the whole set of original. I don't think I've ever told you this. You'll appreciate this more than anyone else in my life. I have an original set of the full Nancy Drew books, something like 75 different hardcover with the original dust covers.
You know
from
the
like the
value collectors
1950s or
coll
60s.
that and the Hardy Boys. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna name my three right now. We're segueing, but these are the three that everyone needs to have read or should read. Nancy
Yeah.
Drew, complete series,
Yeah.
Hardy Boys, complete series, and the Boxcar Children. If you haven't read all
Yeah.
three,
Yeah.
Violet in the Boxcar Children. I
Yeah.
used to have these images of her getting a little bread and feeding her little brother and sister in the boxcar,
Yeah.
and I was a little child. I'm like, I want to be poor and live in a boxcar. And but anyway, I digress.
You
So I
digress.
thought to myself, I says, well, it's 2025, this technology. I should be able to locate the commencement. The announcement said that she graduated in 2022. So I
Yeah.
said, let me see if I can find. I couldn't find the commencement.
For damn
I
near.
found the graduation books for other years. I found the graduation books for
Mhm.
23, 21, 20 COVID. There's a nice little book they give and the name. There
Yeah.
was a post. And again, I don't know. Nancy
Alleged.
Drew,
Yeah.
allegedly. But I went on the Facebook and there was a post and it said something along the lines of, you remember I sent it to you, and it was the list of graduates for 2022 Resmuse at her particular campus. And it says this post has been deleted.
Nothing to see here.
I'm just throwing that
Nothing
out
to
there,
see here.
just a little Easter egg, a little breadcrumb. I just found it interesting that it was not available. So I haven't
Yeah.
even been able to confirm what class she was in.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the original allegations people making that this other Autumn was not in the same
The
class, or wasn't in the
real
same
Autumn.
class, or was a class behind, or was a class ahead, or they didn't know each other, or they did know each
Yeah.
other. And then if you really want to go down the deep dive too, and
Oh yes, please, please
I,
get to
I,
the
I,
one. Get to the one. Do it.
I hate to admit it, but there was old Facebook posts from like 13, 14. This is terrible.
Mhm.
From like 14, 15 years ago.
No, you guys, he went so far down the rabbit
Listen.
hole, you don't even know. Can I just he
Uh,
made a concept map,
I
y'all.
d-
He made a concept and it's good and it's detailed and it's colored and
no, I
it's
did. Like,
beautiful of like
this is
the
how
entire thing and it's impressive.
sick
He
we
sent
I
me
don't
a
know if
whole
y'all can see
concept
it.
map.
This is how sick we got, kids. This is how sick we got.
Look at it.
I needed it for my own reference because I had to understand
That
what
should be the thumbnail on
what
YouTube
we
for
can
this
send it. I
episode.
had to understand what was happening here because there was so much information, Erica. I said, no, we're doing a concept map because I need to break this down. So in said concept map, I have one tab and it says Facebook. And I was scrolling down through the Facebooks from 13, 14 years ago. And so let's do the math. I don't know,
13, 14
middle
years.
school, maybe middle school. And
Yeah.
there is, I don't know how to say this, allegedly, there is a girl who looks strikingly similar to the image that we've been provided of the true nurse. Now, I'm not going to name the true nurse, but we know her name's Autumn, obviously. But the
Yeah, the
image that
real Autumn.
we've been sent and we believe is the true nurse, it looks very similar. So I said to Erica, I'm like, either it's Twilight Zone. Was there a name change? Is there more to this? Was there a name change at some point? They're both wearing the same black frame glasses. They both have the same face shape. The note, it's Erica. Do they not look alike?
They do absolutely look alike, and it makes you wonder because the true Autumn, the one whose identity was stolen, has said publicly she didn't know her. They went to school together, but they weren't friends.
Correct.
But from what you came across on social media, which I've seen, it would appear that they did know each other and they did have a relationship and possibly, and this is getting really rabbit hole-ish, allegedly, possibly even a romantic
I don't know.
years ago. There was some
There was some poke, but like I said, I mean, it could just be a situation of doppelganger. It really, honestly, could be. But the point is, and I'm not saying this actually happened. I'm just saying in the deep dive, there is a lot of information surrounding this woman, Autumn Bardisa, that makes you go, You know that song, Things to Make You Go, I'm going, with everything I'm seeing. Even like the arrest video when she's asking to be uncuffed to call her kid and she steps out.
Here, yeah, I gotta say, that to me is the nail in the coffin. I have not shared this publicly, but I am told by a source that when you watch the arrest video, they allow her to make a phone call and her phone has a code on it. It's locked. And they say, what's the code to unlock your phone? And you can distinctly hear her saying 0411. I am told that April 11th, aka 0411, is the date of birth of the real Autumn.
I need a cigarette. I'm so done. I can't even continue filming this because I cannot.
And
I
that she
cannot.
dyed her hair to match the real Autumn, which if
Well,
you look at pictures of
she
fake Autumn,
was.
she looks like a chameleon.
Yeah,
Looks
she
like
does.
two different
She
people.
absolutely does.
So
It's bugging me. So me and Erica had discussed this obviously prior to filming, what day we were going to film and all this stuff, and we were delaying the days, audience, because we both know we're right there.
we're so close.
We're
We know you
so
are.
close to cracking this egg, and it's just
Yeah.
it's bugging me and blowing my mind. There's a missing piece, and I feel like I'm on Law and Order and like SVU, and I'm like, Haggerty, and all the evidence is laid out on the table, but I just cannot put it together, i.e. the concept map, because I was trying to streamline this mess.
Well, what about the fact that she allegedly was a Baker Act patient previously, that she has a psych history, which tell them what a Baker Act is for those that don't know outside
So
of
a
Florida.
Baker Act in the state of Florida, it's a psych hold. It's like a psych hold, and they call it a Section 35, where I'm originally from in Boston.
We have different.
Anyways,
names,
it's a psych hold. Now, I do want to preface and say, if she has psychiatric issues, I'm not judging or pointing a finger. If there was a psychiatric issue or shit, so I'm not doing that at all. But it does seem like, allegedly, there was some mental health issues, which, I mean, everyone has.
Yeah.
I've spoken about mine publicly, so it's not like I'm bashing her for it. It seems like the girl might have some issues.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It seems like there might be some issues.
She has some issues, for sure. A lot of different issues from different
Do you want to know what it's giving?
Yeah.
It's giving, and no one will get the reference but you, and we've discussed this movie many times. It's giving, I'm just going to say Tori Spelling.
Ah!
Is it not giving that for you? It's giving.
Yes, it's giving peeling the apple in the car while you're driving with the butcher knife on the front seat.
It's giving Death of a Cheerleader.
Yep.
If you don't know Death of a Cheerleader, then we just aged ourselves to shit.
Right?
Yes,
Kelly Martin, Tori Spelling.
One of the best movies I've ever seen in my whole life.
1990s, yeah.
But it's giving very like the dyed hair, the name. It's just giving very, and then a year from now, she's going to be in a designer snowsuit going skiing. Like, remember?
Trying to fit in. Yeah.
Trying to fit. Do you remember when she had to go on the first ski trip with that old snowsuit from the 80s?
The brown, ugly
and the puffy
that her mom got from like Goodwill. Oh, I know. It was sad.
Why don't more people watch that movie? That movie's so good.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just going to love to see where this goes, though, but the whole thing is just like absolutely mind-blowing to me. So many people defending her. So many people defending her.
And here's the thing. Nothing's going to change until they start coming down hard on these criminals. These are criminals. This is not just a Board of Nursing issue. And this is from someone who is vehemently against the criminal prosecution of nurses for medical errors. This is different. You are knowingly, premeditatingly imitating a medical professional, and that is actually a crime, and they need to not get a slap on the wrist anymore. They need to get actual jail time as a deterrent, because clearly this is not slowing down.
Well, and it pisses me off too, and I can already see the comments already about this, and this is why parts of me hate social media and just hate everyone at some points, is because they crucified Redonda. Crucified her on the cross. Crucified that girl. And this one, she's a single mother. God.
Who had just gotten custody of her daughter back, mind you. So why did she lose custody in the first place? Come on now.
The rules on what's acceptable are changing every day in the social media space, and I can't keep up with it anymore. But it's just, I don't know how we go from crucifying Redonda Vaught, fast forward a few years, and now we're elevating this girl. Well, she passed the okay, she did pass the NCLEX. I'm not saying she didn't pass the NCLEX, but is any of this correct? Is any of this right? Then people going down the rabbit hole conversation of, oh, maybe the qualifications to become a nurse need to change. Okay, fine. That's a whole other conversation that could be had. But applicable to this case, she lied.
Yeah.
She lied.
Very deceptive.
Period.
And did some questionable other things, even if she had been a licensed nurse, like letting other employees pay her allegedly to take their online learning modules, to do their CPR, their all the things. The The one thing that I think is probably the most egregious is all of the employers in every single one of these cases claiming that there's never patient harm. Like,
Oh,
can
that
we just be real? That is statistically impossible.
impossible.
Statistically impossible that all
Impossible.
of these fake nurses just miraculously never harmed a patient. Be so for real. There's
No, it's
no
so
way
annoying. It's
that
so
that's
annoying to
true.
me. There's probably a grouping of people who don't even know they were treated by ya. We don't know what
Yeah.
adverse events there were. Like we don't
Yeah.
know how many other nurses are going to be implicated by this. And it's so public. We're just seeing the surface of what this is going to turn into. But I wrote in here in my little closing on this particular section. I said hospitals supposed to have layers of verification, licenses checked with the names
Yep.
matched against official records. So how does someone slip
Yep.
through using another nurse's license number? How do you accept a name change story without verifying the marriage certificate?
Right.
It wasn't
Right.
HR. It wasn't management. It was an audit. It was a fellow healthcare worker who finally
Correct.
connected the dots. And that raises the scary and uncomfortable question. Had that not happened, how long would Autumn be going on? Because she would have been licensed.
Probably still
We
would
may
be
have never
working.
known. We may have
Yeah.
never known.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see where this whole thing goes. I mean, at minimum,
Yeah.
in Florida, it's grounds for medical battery. So I'm dying to see where this whole thing
Good.
goes. But the people defending it, can we
Yeah.
absolutely stop and not do that?
Let's take a moment to hear a word from our sponsors. I had one of those moments this week where I realized just how far technology has come in healthcare. I was doing a routine assessment on a patient, listening to heart and lung sounds with my echo stethoscope, and I thought maybe I heard a faint murmur. But in the past, I probably would have second guessed myself, but not anymore because I was using the Echo AI app along with the stethoscope, and it immediately flagged it as a murmur. And I was able to alert the provider. Honestly, it's like having a second set of expert ears with me at all times. That's why I've been working with Echo for years. Echo combines the stethoscope you already know and love with enhanced audio and advanced AI to help detect heart and lung conditions earlier and with more confidence. The digital stethoscope amplifies heart and lung sounds up to 40 times, and the noise cancellation cuts out all the distractions. Echo AI helps detect murmurs and AFib along with sound recordings that you can share with other members of the team for earlier detection and seamless collaboration. It's backed by millions of heart sounds and 8 FDA clearances for devices and AI algorithms. And clinical studies show that those who use Echo are 2 times more likely to detect heart disease. This is next-gen technology with real-time patient data and 3-lead ECG, Bluetooth, all of it. I trust Echo so much that I worked with their team to create a special offer just for Nurses Uncorked listeners. Right now, you can get $50 off plus a free customizable chest piece cover at echohealth.com/uncorked. Your purchase is HSA and FSA eligible and may even qualify for CME reimbursement. Echo guarantees you'll detect heart and lung conditions more confidently. And if you don't, you can return it for a full refund. Go to echohealth.com/uncorked for $50 off plus a free chest piece cover. That's ekohealth.com/uncorked. Well, that episode sure has a lot of trauma to unpack, but lucky for us, we have Dr. Lori Laws in our community to help us. What can people do, Dr. Lori?
There are so many ways in which people can get some support for their nurse trauma. There's my book, which is Nursing Our Healer's Heart.
Yes.
It's a recovery guide for nurse trauma and burnout, and it's
Highly
available
recommend.
wherever
I've
books
read
are.
it.
Thank you. And for those who want to do a deep dive assessment and get personal one-on-one guidance, I have a Healer's Heart assessment and private session. And for those who are like, oh my God, I need help today, we have a Trauma Healing Academy for nurses, the Healer's Heart Academy. And all of that can be found on my website at drlorilaws.com. And I encourage you to reach out anytime.
Perfect. Well, unfortunately, she's not the only
know.
recent case of this
I
in the
know.
news. There's been another case of Shannon Womack, a 39-year-old quote unquote nurse in Pennsylvania, has been all over the news. And this one is even crazier in many ways. So she, by all accounts, was never went to nursing school, not a CNA,
Ever.
nothing that I could find, not a healthcare professional in any capacity. She was pulled over just for, I think she was on the highway driving and they ran her plates randomly and there was a warrant. So they pulled her over. This is back in April in Pennsylvania. She handed over a fake ID. They ended up, I believe, searching her car, found out multiple aliases, fake IDs, many of which had active warrants, found medical records of patients in her car, found prescription medication belonging to patients tied to different facilities, plus medical supplies. And this eventually led to a whole investigation, multiple social security numbers used. So basically, she had 20 aliases, and I believe it goes back to 4 actual nurses whose identity she stole.
It's crazy.
20 aliases, 7 different social security numbers, impersonating nurses from other states. It involved numerous rehab centers, nursing homes, other type facilities. Here's one of the crazy things. Sometimes she would pose as an LPN, sometimes an RN, and sometimes an RN supervisor. Yeah, you can't make this up. Get the smelling salts. I know.
Need my vapors. I can't.
It's insane. So police allege that she submitted forged documents to staffing agencies. But here's where she actually, I got to give her credit for being creative, unfortunately. She created her own fake LLC staffing agency so that she could siphon the jobs back to her. So she would answer the phone as the secretary or whatever and say, oh yeah, we have a nurse available for tonight. and siphon it back to herself. So she got job after job after job. And unfortunately, the facilities treated this as they're pre-vetted because it's coming from an agency, an LLC. Actually, that was so smart. I hate to say it.
It's giving me, my references. It's giving me when the Beals lost all their money and Mrs. Beale was still pretending she had the Irish live-in maid, and the phone rang. Beale residence. Let me see if Mrs. is at home. Yes, Sarah, I'll take it. This is Mrs. Beale. Because she didn't want anyone to know that they didn't have the money for live-in help anymore. That's
what you have to tell them what that's in regards to, because I think most people will
Beale,
not get it.
Oh my God. So y'all know I'm from Boston and we worship the Kennedy family. It's a religion up there. And so the Beals are the first cousins of the Bouviers. So Jackie and Lee. Jackie Kennedy, Lee Radziwill.
Yeah.
Jackie O, the queen, the original, the blueprint. She had these cousins who they were socialites, aristocracy, and fell on hard times as years went on. And so Edith Sr., the mother, lived with her daughter, Edith Jr., in this dilapidated mansion in the Hamptons and ends up being revered years later as a fashion icon. But it is absolutely everything. The woman is
batshit crazy,
but fabulous in all the best ways.
Yes.
I mean, I told you one of my favorite lines is when the video cameras.
You have to do the accent. You guys are in for a treat now.
The guys, the brothers who are doing the documentary originally. We're not even talking about nursing right now. I feel terrible.
I know.
The documentary was originally going to be about it was going to be the Bouvier movie, but they got so intrigued by the Beale cousins. And so she comes out of the house, and the guys with the Grey Gardens, that's the name of the mansion, and they cut in the cameras, and they're like, oh, Edie, you look beautiful today. And then she's like, mother wanted me to come out in a kimono, and we had quite a fight. And it's just like, she's fabulous. She's everything. She's just like, and she's like, I don't like women that wear skirts, so I have to put the pants under the skirt, and then you pull this over the pants, and you can always take it off and use it as a cape. And I think this is the best costume for today. It's just the best thing you've ever seen in your life.
It's the best. They made it into a musical.
And a movie with Drew Barrymore.
And a movie. And Drew Barrymore. That's right.
But there's 3 now. There's Grey Gardens.
The documentary.
There's That Summer documentary. And then there's the other one, the extended scenes, which I love because Lee's in it. And this is and then I'll stop here. One of my favorite scenes in the newly released footage is like Lee Radziwill, Princess Edie don't give 2 shits. Edie gets up in that face. Like, they have no money. They have no nothing. And she, like, that socialite aristocracy blue butt never left that girl. Never left it. But if you guys don't know who they are.
It's fascinating. If you want something to watch, oh my gosh, it's fascinating. And so this is just a glimpse into Matthew and I's conversations on the daily. This is the stuff
what
we talk about.
Yeah,
Nancy Drew books,
yeah.
Royal Family, all manner of things.
Romanovs.
Great Gardens. Yeah.
Yeah, Broadway.
Anyway.
Musicals.
We're big
nothing
nerds.
to do with nursing at all.
Big nerds. Yeah.
But anyways, that's what it's giving.
I agree. But this Shannon Womack, she has now been charged with 43 counts, including endangering the welfare of care-dependent persons, identity theft, forgery, falsely pretending to hold a license, also drug paraphernalia charges, because there's allegedly like 120 oxys missing from one thing. And this spans 5 years, multiple states, Connecticut, Tennessee, New Jersey, Indiana, Georgia, and Pennsylvania. And it gets even worse. She was listed. Oh, it does. She was listed as a nursing imposter on an official list in Georgia, and was listed as on do not retain list at almost every single facility she ever worked at for things like professional misconduct, poor performance, and stealing medications. And yet she was able to continue doing this for 5 years. So the question is, how? I was like, how did she pull this off? Well, she took advantage of timing. She started doing this in 2020 when COVID at its peak, and they're desperate for nurses. So she really took advantage of everything being laxed and the desperation for nurses. She uses tons of name variants, minor name tweaks. She'll put like a hyphen, different middle names, just to dodge simple checks. And she only ever did short stints at different facilities. So we're talking 1 to 10 shifts. Yeah. To, avoid anything catching up with her or audits before she would move on to the next facility. But basically this comes down to employers' lack of responsibility and accountability in this, weak identity checks. So they would only run maybe a basic background check, but they wouldn't run like social security number traces, alias scans, or match a date of birth to the last name, to the social security number on the board records. They weren't even using Nurses, which is the national database for nurses for license. They weren't even using it.
And this is where I get so mad. And I'm trying to think who was the first one to say it. It might have been our friend Lindsay.
Yeah, our personal information being
I'm just trying to think who was first. I'm just trying to make sure I give credit where credit's due, because I think Lindsay may have been first.
Yeah, she was on an earlier episode talking about that.
Correct. The point is, and this was a while back that she said this. This is where I get so infuriated. This is why they should not be effing public, because it could be happening to you right now. We have no clue. We have no clue. Like why we're public people blows my mind. Why?
We should not have our license numbers public, because clearly there are opportunists out there that are just going and looking for someone that happens to have the same first name.
Yeah.
And then they're taking their license number. I mean, it's happening left and right. So they need to stop having that listed publicly.
Agreed.
There needs to be some sort of
we need
wall that employers have a code to access or something to get that number.
Absolutely. That Facebook page, Are We Dating the Same Guy? We might need one for nurses. Like, will you upload? We may need one for nurses. I'm serious.
That's a great idea.
We may need one for nurses at this point, because, like, maybe that's how.
Have you worked with this quote unquote nurse? Did you notice anything suspicious?
Remember when Nightingale happened? We've all talked about this. We've all said once or twice in Boston. We say, like, where'd you get your license? A box of Cracker Jacks? Because there's no way you got an actual. And that's how I feel. Like, where did your license come from?
Yeah.
Now, and it's just sad that we're living in a time where you might not have one. You really might not have one. It's crazy to me. It's that. Well, that's two. Do we want to take another trip?
Yeah, you found another one that I'm not even aware of. I don't think.
Let's just go to Maryland. Let's just take a ride to Maryland. Why don't we?
Pick a state. You can probably find one in every state at this point.
We should just make a board game. Like. Now, I'm probably going to destroy this last name, so God forgive me. But in Maryland, Thomasina Amponsah, I'm going to say Amponsah, Amponsh, age 50, had a really impressive resume. A very impressive resume. Except she didn't. She stole multiple nurses' license numbers and identities. She tweaked her own name to match, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she applied for jobs at nursing homes, medical centers, even a public school, and got hired not once, not twice, but in more than 40 different facilities and locations. Over the years, she earned at least $100,000 in wages under the false identities. At one nursing facility, she was caught forging a physician's signature for tramadol, a controlled medication. She faxed in the fake order, and that forgery got her fired, but it didn't end her imposter nurse career. She just changed her tactics. She used a different stolen license, and this time from Florida.
Of course. Of course.
And signed up with a staffing agency. Through that single agency, she worked shifts in 21 different nursing homes. In 2022, at yet another facility, she allegedly failed to administer ordered medications, falsified charts, got terminated again, and still moved on to the next job. So she ain't done yet. It wasn't until federal investigators finally caught up with her that the cycle finally stopped. In August of 25, she pled guilty in federal court to making false statements in healthcare matters and to aggravated identity theft. She's facing up to 7 years with at least 2 years mandatory. Sentencing is scheduled for November 12th, I believe. So this wasn't just like a one-off mistake. It was like years-long pattern of an imposter nurse. But what gets me with this one is, and I can almost see how this happened, a lot of it was these staffing agencies. So like the apps, and I'll tell you, I can see it happening through those types of apps.
Because employers assume they're already vetted.
Correct.
And I mean, yeah.
And all it says is upload your license, upload a picture, upload you this, and then next thing you know, there's a 12-hour shift available, da-da-da, you click yes, and you go, and the facility just assumes you're good to go, you've been pre-vetted, and there you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So when did her thing end?
This August, this month.
So she was just caught.
Yeah, just caught.
Now.
Just now, August, this month. It just happened. Yep. It is Thomasina Amponsah. It was in Baltimore. But she's been going at this for years. And it makes you wonder how many of them are there.
Yeah, that's the truly terrifying part. Because I feel like we're only hearing about the ones that happen to get caught or the bigger stories.
No, it's crazy to me. And it's just...
And how many places find out and then they just fire them and put them on a do not rehire instead of reporting them because they want to avoid any liability coming back on the healthcare organization.
But that makes me...
Like Charles Cullen.
I always reference him. And I reference that story because, but if we can, go back to the Autumn story, I wonder in my head, at what point did they really know? And at what point was risk management involved? And
Autumn has allegedly claimed to coworkers that Advent Health made her sign an NDA. Now that we don't know if that's true or not. She could just be making that up. But would we be shocked?
No.
Would we be shocked if Advent Health found out and said, look, we're going to do you a solid. We're not going to report this, but you can't ever talk about it and you need to sign this NDA.
No, we wouldn't be.
I could see that happening.
And I'm hoping that the narrative is changing and the temperature is changing in the profession because especially in the last few weeks alone, you're seeing a lot more nurses whistleblowing and a lot more nurses. I'm hoping the momentum keeps up because, like I said, allegedly, I could see them having been aware and trying to decide how they were going to mitigate this mess.
I could too.
It wouldn't surprise me. I wrote down I put angles in reform, like a little list. And I said that the first thing, a license number alone does not prove identity. Employees must verify the license matches the name, the date of birth, the social security number directly with the board. They should be doing that anyways. And I put name changes should be documented, marriage certificates, court orders. Without them, you can't flip the license. Staffing agencies and facilities under pressure need to slow down. Verification can't be skipped just to get a body on the floor. That's where a lot of this is happening. Because of the nursing shortage, staffing shortage, they're cutting corners, and that's how people like this, they're using it as an opportunity to just, I don't want to work next to one of those people.
No, that's terrifying because inevitably at some point they're going to touch your patients. Correct. For whatever reason. You're tied up in another room, you're on a break, whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is terrifying. No, I made a list as well about simple things that employers should already be doing that could absolutely cut out probably 99% of this. How about we just require in-person photo ID match before we activate a badge or 100%. Give them access to any 100%. Systems? Like come into HR with your passport, with your driver's license. Let's look at the picture. Let's look at your name. Make sure the name is the name and not a similar name, There's also Inspector General list that you can cross-reference, social security number traces you can do. They can audit Pyxis or OmniCells for new hires, say after they've been on their own for a month, 2 months, 3 months. Why are we not automatically doing an audit just to catch any potential suspicious activity? Require dual RN witnesses on anything until any verifications are complete. Cross-check names, date of birth, last four of the social to any license records. Block medication cabinet access until verification clears. And if there's any discrepancies, that should be a hard stop. And that should mean you have to stop working until this is resolved, until we get that marriage certificate or whatever it is that we need.
That's what I don't get.
And re-verify at every new assignment or role change. So promotion, transfer to another unit, whatever. They should be re-verifying this information automatically. And they should be utilizing Nurses because that's the national database, not just your specific state one, because as we've seen, this spans multiple states. And here's the biggest one, in my opinion. Boards of nursing, like we said, need to stop listing our license numbers publicly.
Agreed.
That would put a stop to
all of it.
A lot of this. The majority of this
would go away. It's just
and we
funny.
need investigators to hold employers accountable. So yeah, you're charging the fake nurse. Great. They need to be charged. Why are you not charging the employer for their part?
When you just said marriage licenses, it just made me think of something. But if when you go to sit for NCLEX, if your last name is not the same as when you registered, so it just blows. You can't even sit for the board. I don't understand, and no one's going to be able to explain it to me. How in God's name these girls, how does that even happen? I mean, I have been harassed over a BLS. I have been harassed over a TB. When I tell you, I mean, the only thing they haven't done is come and knocked on my door personally, and I'm sure that was going to be the next step. It's just like they hound you over these things. Everyone says Florida, 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 Florida. That has not been my Florida experience. I know it exists. I know it does because it's out there and I see it. I just haven't been one of the ones that's experienced that. But I've been absolutely hounded and harassed for documentation. How did this even happen?
Yeah. And, we could say maybe it's non-acute care settings like long-term care, rehab, SNFs, whatever. But this just happened to Advent Health with Autumn. That's definitely acute care. And she was at, my understanding is 2 different of the Palm Coast Advent Health facilities. So it's not just the smaller facilities.
I just trying to process how that conversation went down. She's standing in the room. Oh, it's a different last name. Oh yeah, we'll just provide us that marriage certificate. We're not gonna be able to move forward to do anything until you give us that, but just get it to it as soon as you can. It should have stopped then.
Yeah.
Right then and there is when it should have stopped. And so for me, she's absolutely liable. But Advent Health, come on down. Like we got a chair for you. I got questions.
Yeah.
A lot of questions. They need to vet the complete staff. There were actually commenters. If you go look in I'm sure you had the same thing, commenting adverse things that occurred and and like, now I'm questioning this. And now if I had been a patient, I'd be questioning a lot of stuff too. It's just so many of them now. It's just crazy to me.
Well, and how many times have you looked at coworkers in the last 2 years since Operation Nightingale broke, wondering, are you from Florida? Did you ever work? Where'd you go to school? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Why are you so tan? You on vacation? No, it's sick. I swear that we've come in contact with some of them because they disappear real quick.
You probably have.
It's funny. There's been nurses down here with different specialties. There'll be a rumor and someone will say something and very quickly the nurse is gone. It's like, and I'm like, oh, then it was, you know what I mean? Didn't they say there was something over 1,000 that they still hadn't located? Like they're still trying to locate them all. They don't have them all yet.
Yeah. And let's talk about the Operation Nightingale cover-up post the story breaking. It was everywhere for a month or 2.
And then
there has been nothing. Since then. I have to scour and really go hard to try and find the individual story with an individual state board of nursing or whatever. It has been so widely covered up, but yet they're still claiming there has been miraculously no patient harm as a result.
But that's that bullshit. You know what I mean? The last one that I saw when I actually looked and checked was there was one nurse who was like challenging it. Like she was going to
Oh,
into it.
there's a couple. Yeah, I
The
think
last
in
one I
Georgia
read,
there was a
she was
couple
like
nurses
challenging, like
that
guess what?
lawyered up immediately and said, "Nope, mm-mm."
I don't
And
know.
who knows? Who knows? Did they possibly get caught up in this? Maybe, but
I'm sure there's one or two. There could be some example. I don't know how when you didn't go to your clinicals. I mean, you knew what was happening.
I think the boards of nursing are so worried about the possibility of them accidentally implicating one or two nurses that weren't
Right.
guilty that they're overcompensating. And now you have all these fake nurses running around, we know, harming patients, and they're not being held accountable because you're so worried about the possibility of getting one wrong
Right.
and that lawsuit. How about the greater good? How about you do your literal point for existing as a board of nursing is to protect the public from unsafe nurses.
You had one job. One
damn job.
You had one job only.
One
but you couldn't
job,
even manage
and you're
that.
not doing it.
And I said this thing before, and I swear to God, I never saw this girl again. And she said I was given a report, and the patient had nausea and vomiting. There'd been some emesis, whatever. And she was saying, the interventions have been done. And I was like, okay, well, when you last checked them, were they febrile? And she's like, oh no. And I was like, okay, but here are their vital signs at what temperature? 101.3. And I'm, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
febrile.
It's just like one of those. And so a lot of the commenters were saying stuff like that. I'm like, when I hear that stuff, I'm almost like, I need to see a license. I need to see, I need to.
Yeah. No, I had one years ago, and I think back on it now, because this is like 10, 15 years before Operation Nightingale. So that wasn't even in the thought process,
Right.
that maybe this could be fake. But it was well known in our unit that everyone questioned this nurse's capabilities and education, because she would do and say some crazy things. And yeah, she was a new grad, but even like maybe a year and a half out from being a new grad, I remember sitting at the nurses station with her once, and I forget what the context was, but the patient had diabetes, and she turned to me and said, I mean, how big of a deal is that really?
I'm done.
Being diabetic. And I was like, what?
I'm done. I'm so done.
And then I think she asked me to define it. Like, what even is diabetes? What do you mean you have a nursing license and you're an RN and you can't even diagnose arguably the most common disease out there? What?
I'm done. I think I know I told you this story before, but I remember we had a patient, I think they fell, and did a quick assessment, and the patient was obviously hypoxic. And I said to the nurse, I said, quick, go get me the supplemental O2. And she comes back and she hands me a pulse ox. I'm not done. I'm not done.
So wait, there's more.
So I'm like, I said to him, like, what the fuck is this? I need the oxygen. So she runs and she comes back and she's pushing a concentrator down the hallway. And so she's like, here. And I was like, where's the nasal? I need the cannula. Where's the nasal cannula? She goes, the what? I said, the nasal cannula. And then she goes, oh, right here. And she pulls the pulse ox out.
No.
And listen,
okay,
that was documented. Y'all know, if you think this is about you, it's about you.
It's about you.
I'm talking about you.
I can give you another one. The same nurse with the diabetes. We had a neonatal patient. This is peds, okay, who I forget what the diagnosis was, but had to go home on long-term antibiotic therapy. And it was a huge ordeal to get a line in this kid that would be appropriate for long-term home use. Okay, so trying to get a PICC line like a preemie, neonate, it was a big deal. And there had been several failed attempts, and discharge had been delayed multiple times because we couldn't get a secure line. We finally get, I believe, a neonatologist to insert a neonatal PICC, okay? Well, for those that know, and mind you, she'd already been working there over a year, so she absolutely should have known. A lot of the time in neonates, the PICCs are too long, right? So they will be coiled up outside of the insertion site, but secured under the sterile dressing, okay? That's not uncommon in NICU and PICU, okay? This kid was ready to finally go home. The parents had been there forever. I think that day they were supposed to go home. I'm getting a report from her, And she says, yeah, so I noticed that the IV was coming out, so I pulled it. What? I just remember having a visceral reaction. You did not pull it. You did not pull it. Tell me you did not pull it. And she's just looking at me. And I'm like, there's no way.
Oh,
you didn't ask? Even if you somehow weren't sure, why wouldn't you ask someone?
I'm so done. I'm telling you.
She pulled this precious pick that we had waited weeks to get in. Yep. Because she somehow didn't, and there's no way she had missed that. Oh my God.
No, I mean, you think.
Oh my God.
It just makes you think of story. You think back and question nurses you've worked with. You know, in some hospitals, they have a little locked cabinet in the room and the med cards will be inside there. Yeah. So turn past and open it. And there's all these little like bits and pieces of pills. Like little bits and pieces of pills that are kind of a little collection is formed. What is it? She's like, well, you know, I just didn't think they needed the full dose. They looked okay.
So you're practicing medicine without a license. Okay.
So they look like little puzzle pieces. She just decided who got what, and no, he only needs 0.25. So we're gonna take a little corner off.
I assume it was not ordered as
but it's like, and I mean, to be fair, it didn't appear that she was taking the drugs for herself. She put them back in the little lock cabinet. I'm like, you're just editing doses?
She thought she was doing the right thing for her patient. But listen, where's your critical thinking?
Girl, I told you the one about during wasting Knox. So, you know, 2 to waste, fine, whatever. So you're wasting narcotics. Yeah. And she was just having a reaction to it, get so upset. She's like, I don't know. Can't we just put these in a bag or something? I'm like, no, these can't go in a bag. We can't put them in a bag. She goes, well, you know, there's just so many people on health insurance. And it would just be nicer if we drove around and donated them.
Sure, in theory. But how are we going to regulate that?
You say, like, no patient was hurt. I'm like, Advent Health, get fucked.
Exactly.
Because I know what I've seen.
There's no way.
There's no way. There is absolutely no way in hell. But I guess
and for those of you that are maybe not nurses listening or nurses of a certain generation listening and you find it offensive that we are laughing, let me point out for the bazillionth time, this is a coping mechanism.
Absolutely
you have to laugh at how ridiculous and insane the subject matter is to navigate it, to get through it. And so to all the fake nurses out there, to all the grifters out there, we will report you. And to the employers, stop outsourcing safety to other agencies. Verify the source. That is your responsibility. And to the investigators out there, charge the employers equally. Our patients deserve licensed hands at the bedside every single time.
Agreed. Put on a bumper sticker. Slap it on. It's crazy, but I'm interested to see where this all goes, though.
Blow up when the dust settles with some of these cases.
The way our culture is, she'll go to trial, she'll get let go, and she'll get a Netflix show. That's another thing you have to understand that we're laughing about, too. You don't know in our own careers, we deal with this shit all day. And then our emails and our phones, it's all you have to laugh or go nuts. I'd be crazier than I already am.
So insane.
The stories we're sent and the things we're told, and it's like we can't cover every single one and all of them. But my God, if y'all could get a hold of our phones and laptops, you wouldn't have a tooth pulled. I
know. It's scary.
We both know there's another one that we haven't discussed yet. There's another home health nurse situation that we're still watching to wait to see what happens with that. I'd like to know the outcome of that one. Like, well, what's her?
It's killing me that we haven't talked about that one. It's killing me, but we promised that we would.
We will at some point. But my point is, I'd like
that one's gonna, I think, break open some barriers one day.
I think so. But it makes you wonder, what's the standard now? Healthcare professionals, medical institutions, we're supposed to be the top tier, the creme de la creme, you know what I mean? I'm getting pissed off because you're tainting my profession and you're making it dirty.
Yes, exactly.
You're making it fucking dirty.
Us all look bad. And then we walk in a room or we walk in a patient's house or wherever our setting is, and they're immediately suspicious of us. Yeah. Where'd you get your degree? And I can't even imagine with you being in Florida. At least I can say I have only practiced in 2 states.
And I'm telling
and
you,
it's not Florida.
It absolutely is a conversation down here. It absolutely is part of the daily narrative. And you have to keep in mind, too, especially because Florida, we have something called season. So we're in off season right now. Season picks up after hurricane season is over, and that's when everyone from up north, the Midwest, comes back here to live for half the year. So
the snowbirds, is that
the
what
snowbirds,
yeah,
when they come here, and let me tell you, they are checking documentation, they are checking license numbers, and it's been that way for a little while, and it's embarrassing that that's what's happened to the profession. Stop making my profession so dirty.
Well, and on one hand, I don't blame them, but on the other
I don't
hand,
blame
you're
them at all.
you're making our life so much more difficult when we have to stop and engage in that conversation and somehow rise above and not be immediately defensive when we're accused of wrongdoing without doing anything other than introducing ourselves.
It's crazy.
It's infuriating.
No, there needs to be a major overhaul. I mean, the healthcare system in this country is reaching like a pinnacle breaking point.
Now for your enema of the week.
When it comes to gut health, we often overlook one of the most effective and time-tested tools, enemas. Happy Bumco is helping bring this practice back from the comfort of your own home. They offer a full range of at-home enema kits designed to support digestion and reduce bloating. These kits are hygienic, reusable, and come with step-by-step instructions, so no awkward guesswork. What sets Happy Bumco apart is their focus on education and holistic support. If you're looking for ways to support your gut health, you should check out happybumco.com. Go to happybumco.com and use promo code Nurses Uncorked for 15% off your first bundle. This week's Enema Award goes to Butler Health in Rhode Island, where the over 700 nurses and healthcare workers have been on strike for over 90 days now. They went on strike May 15th for wages, safety issues, benefits, and here we are 3 months plus, and they are still on strike. The hospital has wasted God knows how many millions of dollars. I'm sure they have strike insurance, but wasting it on scabs, and they're closing units. They allegedly hired a new PR firm that is bashing the nurses in the media. Just awful. And these nurses are holding strong. They have had only a couple of nurses, to my understanding, that have crossed the line to go back in. They are really... Yeah.
90 days.
And in the summer, they're out there in the summer heat.
These places, they don't care. Do you remember which location was it where they wrote the letter? He said something like, I'll keep them out there all fall, or I'll keep them out there for 6 months. You remember the one I'm talking about?
Was that St. Vincent's and Worcester?
Worcester. Yeah, we got, yay! No, but this is 90 days. That's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And I, just so you guys know, I did post something on my Instagram story updating you guys, but in case you missed it, because I did post a couple videos early on saying I'm going to keep talking about this every day. And the reason that I stopped is I'm going to be really transparent, because I received very threatening, alarming emails from some crazy unhinged person saying that he knew where I lived.
That's too much. No.
Yeah. No, it was very concerning.
No.
Yeah. And so in the wake of that, I reached out to the union and said, hey, this is going on. And I kind of think you've probably heard from him too, because this person clearly has beef with the hospital and the union. And whoever I spoke to, the union person was very flippant and basically said, like, oh, that sucks. Maybe you should let the FBI know. So I was like, okay, great. I'm glad that my safety matters to you after I was just trying to help you guys out. Okay. So that's why I stopped posting about it. But then the nail in the coffin was a few weeks later when that same PR person reached out to me and wanted to come on the podcast to talk about the strike, because they didn't realize it was me and my podcast, right? Yeah. You can't make this shit up.
They're just checking nothing. They're not checking licenses, employee records. They're checking nothing.
Yeah. So then when I said, so do you remember me? I'm the one that told you my life was being threatened and you blew me off. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize that was you. Okay.
But it was.
So that was a chance to maybe try to rectify it and say, I'm really sorry. No,
No.
So that's why I stopped talking about it. But I want you guys to know, the nurses and healthcare workers there at Butler, that I think about you guys all the time. I'm there with you in spirit. I wish I was on the strike line with you. 90 plus days is simply unacceptable. And you are badasses for fighting this long.
Hang in there.
Solidarity. Hang
Yes,
in there.
absolutely.
Keep fighting the good fight. But yeah, this week's Enema Award goes to Butler Health in Rhode Island. You suck.
Did you see the TikTok of the doctor trying to get a peer approval with the insurance company?
Yeah, Dr. Elizabeth Potter.
And they're like, you're
where
out
she's
of network.
She's pulled out of the OR.
No. This one, so she, there was a bony prominence on Pete's patient, and doctor is calling in, and she's like, yeah, I want to do a CT. And they're like, okay, well, the recommended would be an X-ray. And she's like, an X-ray is not going to give me enough information, enough definition. Like, I need to see. And like, well, they're fighting with her back and forth.
Oh, for like the CT versus the
Yes.
X-ray. I think I saw that just the other day. And she's
I'm
like,
infuriated by that video.
Bone.
Thank
what
you.
What do you want?
Thank you. And she's like,
it's not going to show.
Right. And then she's like, well, it's not malleable. Well, if it's a bony but it's not. Like, she's telling her this just developed. It is an acute, finding. And they're fighting with her. And she goes, well, then, at the end of the day, it does fall on you. She goes, well, the appropriate order is a CT. She goes, okay, we'll go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, it's out of network. And she goes, so you want to go ahead and just have us do the X-ray and just do the CT? And she goes, that would be the prescribed course of treatment. It infuriated me, Erica. And I just thought to myself, and you wonder why CEOs are bodyguards now.
Did you see the one of it was an outpatient clinic or something that took the veteran in who had SI thoughts, suicidal thoughts, and took them in and treated them? Because there is apparently, I don't even know what the name of the law is. There is a law that says, and it's a federal law, that a veteran who is experiencing any kind of suicidal thoughts can go and seek immediate treatment at any healthcare facility, and it will be covered. Okay. So this facility, clinic, whatnot, knowing that, readily took the patient in and treated them appropriately. And then the claim was denied. So the provider gets on the phone with the insurance, is probably United, I forget. And the conversation that ensued was nothing short of like a Monty Python skit, like who's on first? It was just the most insane thing. And he's like, but you didn't get prior approval.
Auth.
Because the law says that we don't need to. Because how do you get prior auth when someone is actively experiencing suicidal thoughts? No, that's impossible. That's why the law exists. And they would go back and forth. Right. I understand the law exists. Yes, they can go and seek treatment anywhere. But we are not going to pay that claim as the insurer because you didn't get prior auth. And then the conversation would start over again. Over and over. And it was like, that's the insanity.
So they'll have a 10-hour conversation over authorization. However, they'll have a 2-second conversation over a marriage license and just letting you go on the floor. So again, where's the standard? I don't know. I'm confused. I just report to work and I go home. That's all I do. I don't know anymore. I don't know. And that's all I have to say about that. I guess we're just going to have to watch and see and wait and see where this all goes. But this is only 3. I'm sure there's 50 more out there right now as we speak. And I don't know what to be done about it, but it's getting weird. And then what scares me is one day we going to be the older people.
Yes, we're going to be the patient or someone we love. That's the terrifying
I'm
part.
terrified. Well, first, I have 2. We've talked about this before. 1, I'm terrified we're going to get people that recognize us and torture us just because.
Right. Admin's like,
bring her in.
That is.
Bring her right in.
I'm going to be so paranoid, and it makes me
scared
crazy.
shitless. I think I'm going to have to hire private home duty or something.
Yeah, I'm going to have to come and sit vigil at your bedside, and you're going to have to come and sit vigil at my
we may just have to move in together.
Protect each other. Honestly, because it's scary.
Listen.
Or you get the nurses that come in and never, ever assess you, and they're going and charting your lung sounds and all the things.
We're going to be sitting here all night just waiting.
I know they're coming for
just sitting there waiting for creators we've pissed off in the past to find our location.
RMC from 20 years ago. They're coming for us.
Oh, well, but no. I'm interested to see where this all goes. But this autumn one, I'm telling you, this girl's going to end up with a reality show. It's going to be like that. I'm telling you. Watch.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned for more. We'll follow up if there's anything to follow up with.
Yes,
of
we
course.
will.
And thank you not only for being
Thank
here today,
you.
but for being such a good friend and helping me through the last 3 months that have been
How do the kids do it?
a little bit painful.
Yeah, there's been some changes, but I mean, you're hanging in there and you're pushing through.
Thank you for listening to the insanity of it all and
It was a lot.
being able to. Oh my God, there's so much.
Oof, it was a lot.
I mean, I'll just say luggage.
This is empty. Yeah, and I don't have anything.
Luggage.
Yeah, there was.
That's the word. Luggage.
I mean,
if you know,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, it was good being here. We will keep checking on these cases, and I'm sure check our socials when there's updates. You will see them.
And tell everyone where they can find you.
TikTok, the Massimo McGuido, same place.
And Instagram.
But let's be honest, I never really use it that much.
Y'all
can go ahead and go over there too, but I never really use it that much. I'm not,
You can go over there, but I'm not
go
there.
over there. I may not be home, but very good.
All right. Thank you. That's it for this episode of Nurses Uncorked, unfiltered, undeniable, and uncorked. If you've enjoyed this episode, consider supporting the podcast by becoming a patron. The link is in the description. And don't forget to download episodes and share with friends. I'm Nurse Erica. I don't play nice, I play real. My mission is simple, the truth. Follow me on social media @the Nurse Erica.